So it's time to check over the ledger. Let's go ahead and see if our predictions came true. So in terms of development, China has run away with it, but Venice and Spain combined would take over China. So pretty much the same scenario. Spain has gone up in development, I'm thinking because of their conquests in North Africa, as well as, just overall they're probably investing more in terms of development. So Assyria, not too far behind Spain, and I threw out Assyria's name in the last video. And there's the confirmation that they are a little bit more powerful, or I guess my little sort of inclination that Assyria was maybe a potential great power, I think has been just confirmed. They are in the top 4 here, and they're actually above the Mayans in terms of development, so that's pretty surprising. Notice that the Mayans are about pretty far ahead of the Americans, but not super far ahead. Here's India, and England surprisingly pretty high. I think that's very surprising to see England so high, especially without their full control over the British Isles. Very big deal. The fact that they lost Scotland so early in the campaign was so huge, very massive, because that's kept them from being able to take over, I think, the Celtic lands, and that's been a big issue. But England still seems to be doing okay. Anyways, maybe technologies, does that really matter? There's a tie for it. No, it doesn't matter at all. We can check on score, but for some reason, what is it? France, it's always heavily advantaged in score. I don't know. China is technically winning the score game. Then it's Venice and Spain. Again, if you combine those two powers, that would be enough. So I guess Spain has to integrate Venice. If Spain integrates Venice, then maybe. I don't know why. I don't know if I was saying that right or something. I don't know. India in the 4th place spot. Assyria in the 5th place. I'm actually really surprised to see the Incans so low, at least in terms of score. It's very weird. Where were they at in development? I guess this isn't super shocking. Whoops, there we go. Incan, 795. I still think this is going to build pretty high. My money is on the fact that maybe they're not going to do it by the end of the campaign, but they're going to be very close to, I think, fully controlling most of Latin America. So we'll see. But they don't have much time. It is 1730, so they don't have much time at all to do that. Okay, so it's time to check on the real stuff right here. Let's check on... Well, okay, hold on. I always like checking on this. Best leader right now is in Poland, then Brazil, India, Denmark, and Shanghai. Okay, cool. Let's check on armies. So I'll check total first, but we'll glance over at force limit. China has the biggest army in the world by far. Then it's Russia. Wow, that's kind of surprising. Remember, because they just got out of a war, but they have low manpower. Just keep that in mind. They just got out of war. They have low manpower, but they really rebuilt fast, and I'm sure this... I think this is their top limit anyways. So the manpower will... Especially in that region where Russia normally is, that's a lot of manpower for the most part. So the Mayans are at 126,000, I'm sorry. Where are the Americans at compared to them? Americans are about 24,000 less. Not that big of a deal. The problem is the force limit. If the Mayans ever push to their force limit, then yeah, they're going to have a significant advantage over Washington. We'll see if they ever decide to do that. Did Venice kind of blow up their army or what? Oh, there they're at 94,000. Assyria's at 113,000. Okay. Still pretty telling. Surprised to see Russia so high. That's very shocking. This might be just a moment thing. This might be just a thing of the moment. Sorry, I thought I saw something right here. This looks a little bit different, but maybe not. Maybe they didn't take anything away. Yeah. India also not very powerful. Maybe not as much of the credit we should be giving to India. This is very low. However, look at the force limit, though. They've got the highest force limit in the world. Maybe their economy isn't the best, but if they, like I said, if they do what I'm saying, if they move to the south instead of towards Polynesian lands, they will get the economy that they need. Southern India is very rich. Yeah, so in terms of force limit, they are the closest power to being able to keep up with China. They're not that close, but still. India needs to go find the Mayans and make an alliance with them. Or maybe an Indian-Russian alliance would be kind of cool too. The problem is that the Russians are eventually going to be limited in their power. Because what are they going to do? They have to go to war now. Everyone else can still colonize, and that's the whole thing. So even Assyria could still colonize. Spain is in actually kind of the same boat as Russia, but I don't see Russia holding on to the amount of strength that the ledger is showing that they have. So, but we'll see. Anyways, navies. Like to check on navies, even though it's not as big of a deal as the armies. It still can be that extra deciding force factor when it comes to sea wars, obviously. oceanic wars. So China is at 221 ships. Their force limit's at 222. So they're almost at their force limit. They've got 61 transports, which explains why they can't take over Polynesian Australia. If Polynesia always has a 70 stack there, I don't think that's ever going to be enough. They're going to have to fight no matter what with, 10,000 less men, as well as if Polynesia catches them early enough, they can get a nice crossing penalty against, a Chinese attack. Anyways, the Mayans are at 190 force limit, 183. That could be the deciding factor. They've got a lot more ships than Washington. Brazil has a lot of ships too. That could also help Brazil maybe slow down the Incans with a lot of blockades. But of course, the Brazilians are coastal along the Atlantic Ocean, Inca along the Pacific, so that could make a difference. They have to go around Cape Horn. We'll see. Anyways, that's it for the ledger. Let's go ahead and go back to wars. I don't believe there's any current wars going on. Nothing too significant besides just the falling out of Haiti. As you can see in the corner here, Songhai took quite a bit away from Haiti. Morocco's still at war with Haiti, but they won't take anything, I don't think. France is going to do a pretty big blow, I think, to the Danish, but Denmark might take away a lot from Sweden. Denmark still had enough in them to take out the Swedes, which I guess is, accurate. I mean, I know the whole Danish-Swedish rivalry. Not sure if it's in this game. Are they rivaled in the game too? No, they're not rivaled in the game. Okay, so there you go. But still, we know in our hearts, Denmark and Sweden don't really... It's a friendly rivalry. But yeah, I guess Sweden lost a pretty big battle here. I don't think the Swedish really had much of a military, though. And I think maybe Sweden was more counting on the fact that Poland and Russia would have dominated, for the most part, the remaining part of the Danish-Austrian military. But that is not going to happen. And Austria, I don't know, because I think Austria is losing equally. Ooh, Austria's at 100% liberty desire. So they will probably get their independence here soon. The problem is that Austria is facing France, and France is just obliterating their armies. Denmark's okay because they're safe hiding in Scandinavia. I do not think they have a naval advantage, so they're going to be kind of screwed. And this is what I said. If Denmark doesn't even have a naval advantage over France, then yeah, they're not going to be having a naval advantage over Spain. That's why I thought that it would have been better if France and Austria had linked up in a personal union instead of Austria and Denmark. But France, they tried. They couldn't do it though. New war has popped up. Polynesia and Portugal. No, it's been up, hasn't it? Ooh, Ethiopia. Okay, so the Zulu and Assyria teaming up again against Ethiopia. This is another reason why I do think that we should be giving Assyria more credit. They're like right smack dab in the Middle East, and they can connect to a lot of different nations all around. I think a lot of the world, for the most part, likes them, except for India. China doesn't really like them. Chinese opinion of, oh, that's interesting. I wonder why. But yeah, a lot of people like Assyria because, they're the middle of the world. We should be checking. I should have been checking on trade routes as well. How's this looking? 3.5. Still a lot of money being made in Genoa and Venice. Very rich part of the world. English Channel, making a lot of money. So is the Danish trade node. What's going on here? Oh my gosh, I'm picking up so many green arrows. That's right, I forgot about this. Yeah, the Mayans do not have much money. Making nowhere close to what the Europeans are making. And so is Latin America. Both not really making that much. Anyways, let's get rid of all these arrows. I forgot how to get rid of them, though. Well, they'll go away eventually. I'm hoping they'll go away eventually. That's what happened last time. So, unfortunately for... wow, yep, they just... I was like, how did they get all this? Hey, arrows, go away. Arrows, okay. That's fine. You can stay there. Okay, so Assyria just grasped a whole bunch of control, or at least a nice big font size here. And we have multiple wars that have popped up. Spain now wanting to get involved with Ethiopia. Kind of too late, though. I mean, Assyria is going to do most of the damage there. We'll see how Polynesia does against Portugal. I guess not too well. Sweden's at negative 78 war score. Oh, okay. What did the French take away? Oh, the French is at 26 war score. So they still have a while before they have to decide. I'm questioning on if I should go back to the trade route map mode. But I guess not. Okay, well, I'm going to just guess that those arrows are going to go away. Because I remember they went away last time, but I don't know how to make them go away this time. Is it zoom all the way in? I'm sorry, I'm being ADD right now. I apologize. Okay, so Polynesia continues to colonize Polynesian China. They will separate China and India. And this is huge. I think this has such a bigger impact than... I know on the surface it doesn't seem like it's that big of a deal, but I really think that is a very, very big deal. China is colonizing to the north. They're colonizing Siberia. And honestly, this has really slowed down, I think, China's progress. I understand that they're so high up that it's going to be hard for them to ever get kind of surpassed. Ooh, this could be a big thing though right here. The Chinese-English front. That is going to be a major, major problem. Denmark peaced out with Sweden. Sweden is even more fragmented than before. England will not be able to keep up with China. But still, a lot of the remaining Chinese lands that China could either take, in the north at least, it's not very valuable. It really isn't. It really isn't. So even if China continues to dominate, still not going to be that valuable. Let's check in on Venice and actually see if there is some sort of integration going on. It doesn't look like it. I believe we'd see a bar here showing us the progress. So I don't believe chance of Spain inheriting Venice, not possible. Stability, size of country. Yeah, Venice is quite big. I wonder if they could split them up. Can they force to split them up or something? However, it looks like the requirement, the 50 years requirement is long gone. But right now Venice is too big. So that's going to be kind of interesting. Who do we give a victory to? I still haven't even talked about AIs and how we're going to choose that whole thing. How we're going to choose like exactly who won. I think I talked about it earlier in the campaign. I didn't clarify with you guys exactly what we were going to do. And initially in my head, it was supposed to be we just choose one nation. You know, just regular Civ 5 thing, because there's 43 nations. You know, you choose one and that's it. But we could still do the 5. I think most people did the 5 continent thing. So we might just do it like that, since most people did that. But we will see. And I don't want to choose multiple winners. I know there's always suggestions of like, well, why don't you choose like the single player, people that got the single player right, and then the people that got the 5. I might do that. We'll see. China's at war with Indonesia, but France got called in this time, and India got called in this time. But there's a separation of borders there. Yeah, so I don't know. I might do both, but still, I mean, I don't have a lot of time to spend on this sort of stuff. You know, I have to make those. Those are kind of tough to make. You know what I mean? So that's the only reason why I'm like, I don't know if I want to choose both, because I don't have that much time. Usually, those slideshows take me longer than you'd think, I guess. It's quite longer than you think. Of course, if there's, I mean, it's a slideshow. I'm assuming it'd be a slideshow because there'd be multiple people. If there's only a few people, then yeah, I could do a shout out. If it's like 10 or 20 people, I'll just say their names. But I don't think it's going to be like that, especially if we choose both. Okay, so Siam is at war with India. So I don't exactly know what happens. Where's the root cause? China declared war on Indonesia. Indonesia somehow got the French and the Indians to ally to them. And maybe this is the reason was because it was just they were trying to stop the Chinese aggression. That could have been a very simple reason. So Syria is still at war with Ethiopia, are they? Get out of here, window. Yes, they are. Not sure if the Zulu are helping out that much. Oh, they do have troops over here. So maybe they do. Oh, there's a peace deal. So they didn't even take that much. They did not take that much at all. What did France take away from Austria? That's kind of a big question. About 4, 5 provinces. Ooh, up here too, from Denmark. Wow. Okay. So, you know, I want to say this was pretty devastating, but it wasn't that bad. For Denmark, at least. Austria is pretty hurt. I think Austria took most of the damage there. That really sucks, because Austria individually was doing really well. I think we can for the most part agree. Whoa. So Morocco did end up taking away a lot of provinces away from Haiti. Haiti stuck with 23,000, within Moroccan territory. They cannot use that force for their territory in the Caribbean. That's big. Yeah, that's kind of a problem. How's California and their Liberty Desire? 43.3. Really have never been that high. That Liberty Desire exactly, though. 100% for Spanish Colombia, so I think the Mayans might be getting that started soon. A Mayan-Spanish war, I think, is on the horizon. And I think an English-Chinese war is on the horizon, too. It all depends, too, as well, on what Assyria starts to do. Assyria needed to take more away from Ethiopia. I think that's safe to say. But I think Assyria, if they do the right things, they could come into that third-place role. You know what I mean? I think maybe they already are. No, the Mayans are. I'd say the Mayans are. It's between three powers, the Chinese, the Spanish, and the Mayans. Especially if they start to dominate the Americans, Washington, I guess, then that is going to make for a very complicated situation. Which I think they would. If they went to war, I think it'd be a pretty big landslide. So right now, China's not winning this, and that's kind of shocking. Oh, who's here? The Indonesians are here. Okay, so the Indonesians are not going to go down without a fight. And I do believe that within this region, the Indonesians probably have among the biggest navy. I know it's probably nowhere close to the Chinese navy. Yep, they just got a few of their ships destroyed, actually. Right as we scrolled over that. And, Siam is going to play a pretty big role in this, too. Oh, who is this here? The Chinese. Oh, no, this is India. India and Egypt going in through and unoccupying some of this stuff that China had controlled. I don't know if China's going to win this, actually. I think India and Indonesia kind of working together is actually a pretty big deal. And, of course, Babylon and Egypt, smaller nations, but they're still, that's still something. I could definitely see this not ending up so well for China. They're at -8 war score. So maybe the beast has a weakness, in a sense. Maybe the Chinese do have, in fact, a weakness. I mean, it doesn't help that they called in Siam. Siam is a weaker power. So you take over some Siamese provinces, and that's going to bring down your war score. Now, of course, Siam can be separate peace tier because they are not the war leader. It would be very interesting if all these powers were just fighting China. Because Polynesia has given open borders through Indonesia. I'm sorry, Polynesia has given open borders with India, China, Siam. I think they've given all the open borders up. It might have been from India, and then obviously China and Siam get that military access as well because of, wars and stuff like that. That's how wars work now. I don't know. Very shocked to see this. And that Indonesian Indian alliance will probably stay the same, to be honest. I don't see it breaking up anytime soon. They don't seem like that would happen. But anyways, guys, I'm going to stop right there. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you guys next time.